Hey everyone, recent studies in the Journal of Geriatric Physical Therapy reveal a hidden danger. After 75, walking alone no longer maintains muscle strength or balance. Japan's long-lived seniors stay strong because they pair movement with targeted muscle activation routines and nutrient-dense foods. Most older adults unknowingly make serious mistakes that accelerate frailty. I'll show you exactly what to do instead, backed by the latest science, and why skipping even one step can cost years of mobility. Stay with me to the end so you don't miss the fix every senior needs. And make sure you subscribe so you never miss a life-changing update. Begins with a simple movement, but the science behind it is anything but simple. Recent mobility research shows that the quadriceps are the single most important muscle group for preserving independence after age 75, yet they are also the fastest to weaken. This decline doesn't happen suddenly, it's gradual, subtle, and often unnoticed until daily tasks start feeling heavier, climbing a single step, rising from a chair, maintaining balance on uneven ground. What most people don't realize is that walking barely stimulates the quadriceps enough to maintain real strength. It activates endurance fibers, not the power fibers responsible for stability, lifting, and catching yourself during a slip. That's the hidden danger. Seniors believe they're doing enough, while their strongest anti-fall muscle silently deteriorates. Light resistance paired with targeted leg lifts offers a corrective strategy supported by controlled trials in older populations. These studies consistently show that isolating the quadriceps with slow, deliberate lifts recruits deep, stabilizing fibers that walking cannot touch. This is where the transformation begins. Research from the Journal of Aging and Physical Activity shows that adults over 75 who practice controlled leg lifts with minimal added load 3 times per week improve their balance scores by 30% or more. The effect is not just physical, it's neurological. These exercises retrain the brain to muscle pathway, sharpening reaction time, and restoring confidence in movement. Imagine lifting a leg while seated or standing with support. It seems simple, almost too simple, which is why many dismiss it. But the effectiveness lies in precision, lifting slowly, holding briefly at the top, engaging the thigh, and lowering under full control. This method forces the quadriceps to fire through a full range, building both strength and joint protection. If you add the lightest resistance band, the muscle adapts even faster, sending signals to the body to build more support around the knee joint. That support becomes the difference between catching yourself during a misstep and falling. There's also a metabolic dimension. Strengthening the quadriceps doesn't just help with mobility, it influences glucose metabolism and circulation. Stronger muscles draw glucose more efficiently and help maintain better blood flow to the lower limbs. This means faster healing, warmer feet, better step control, and greater stamina during daily activities. Many seniors don't connect muscle strength to overall vitality, but the two are inseparable. When the quadriceps regain strength, everything from walking speed to standing posture improves naturally. Here's the part most people overlook, the cumulative effect. 3 short sessions per week, done consistently, create measurable improvement within the first month. People often report feeling steadier even before major strength gains appear, because neuromuscular pathways adapt quickly. That sensation of stability is not imagined. It's the early sign of your body responding. And this growing stability becomes powerful motivation to continue. If you've ever worried about losing balance or noticed yourself reaching for nearby support more often, this is your signal to start now. The earlier you begin activating the quadriceps deliberately, the faster you can rebuild what walking alone cannot maintain. Each controlled leg lift is a small investment in your future independence, and each session builds on the last in ways that compound over time. There's a compelling reason to keep learning the full routine and how to layer it properly. Leg lifts are the foundation, but without the follow-up movements that amplify joint stability, you miss the full benefit. What comes next completes the system and accelerates results. That's why paying attention to every step matters. Your mobility, balance, and long-term strength depend on it. Sit-to-stand drills look deceptively simple, yet they are one of the most powerful movements for older adults because they rebuild the fast, twitch muscle fibers responsible for quick reaction, stability, and preventing falls. These fibers decline rapidly after 75, and most people never realize it until they try to rise from a chair and feel a surprising heaviness in the legs. Walking alone does not activate these fibers, it's too slow and repetitive. The real magic happens when you challenge the muscles to respond quickly, push against gravity, and coordinate the hips, knees, and ankles in a single controlled effort. This is where sit-to-stand drills become essential, and once you understand the science behind them, you'll never overlook this exercise again. Modern aging research highlights that the ability to rise unaided from a seated position is one of the strongest predictors of long-term independence. In fact, longitudinal mobility studies reveal that a declining sit-to-stand ability often precedes balance problems by months or even years. That's a hidden warning sign many seniors miss. When someone begins using their hands to push off the chair or leans heavily forward to generate momentum, it means the lower body power system is weakening. This loss is subtle at first, but it compounds quickly without targeted training. Sit-to-stand drills reverse that trend by activating the exact muscle fibers required for sudden movements, like catching yourself during a slip on a wet floor or regaining balance when stepping off a curb. The effectiveness of this drill stems from its blend of strength, speed, and neuromuscular coordination. Each repetition requires the body to fire the quadriceps, glutes, hamstrings, and core in the correct sequence, which retrains the nervous system to respond efficiently. A recent controlled study on adults over 70 showed that performing just 10 sit-to-stand repetitions daily significantly reduced fall risk within 6 weeks. The improvement wasn't only physical. Brain imaging confirmed enhanced motor pattern consistency, meaning the brain became better at commanding the muscles involved in balance. That's why this movement feels smoother and more stable the more you practice it. It becomes automatic. A surprising benefit emerges when sit-to-stand drills are performed with deliberate technique. Instead of rushing, rising with a steady lift, pausing at the top, and lowering slowly creates an effect similar to resistance training. This controlled tempo increases muscle fiber recruitment and forces the joints to stabilize under tension, strengthening the ligaments and tendons that protect the knees and hips. It's not just about getting stronger, it's about training the body to handle the stresses of real life, standing from a couch, exiting a car, stepping out of bed, without strain or hesitation. There's another layer to this movement that few people talk about: cardiovascular stimulation. Rising from a seated position repeatedly elevates heart rate gently but effectively. For older adults, this is one of the safest ways to improve circulation without overexertion. Better circulation means more oxygen delivered to the muscles, faster recovery, warmer legs and feet, and greater overall vitality. Many seniors report feeling more alert and energized after just a week of consistent practice, because these drills wake up the entire lower body system. If the idea of doing 10 repetitions feels challenging right now, that's actually a positive sign. It means this is exactly the exercise your body needs. Even starting with 3 or 4 repetitions performed with safe support nearby begins the process of rebuilding fast twitch fibers. The body adapts quickly and each session builds momentum. Within days, stability improves subtly. Within weeks, confidence grows. And within a month, many people notice they can rise from a chair more easily, with less effort and greater control. What makes this movement so compelling is not just its simplicity, but its ability to reveal your true mobility status. How you rise from a chair says more about your long-term strength than almost any other exercise. If you want to continue moving confidently and safely for years to come, this drill is non-negotiable. And as you'll soon see, pairing it with the next steps in the routine multiplies the benefits dramatically, creating a full system for lower body power that protects your balance every single day. Mini squats are one of the most underestimated movements for older adults, yet they hold remarkable power for rebuilding hip and knee support. Many people assume squats are too advanced, too strenuous, or too risky, especially after 75, but the modified version is not only safe, it is one of the most effective tools for restoring strength, balance, and joint stability. The key is that mini squats target the exact muscles responsible for supporting the hips, stabilizing the knees, and maintaining proper alignment during every step you take. When those muscles weaken even slightly, balance becomes shaky, steps grow shorter, and everyday movements start feeling uncertain. Mini squats reverse that decline by training the body to distribute weight evenly and activate core lower body strength with precision. What makes this exercise so compelling is how it engages multiple muscle groups at once. Unlike walking, which mainly uses linear motion, a controlled mini squat recruits the glutes, hamstrings, quadriceps, inner thighs, and even the deep stabilizers around the pelvis. These are the same muscles that protect you when you shift weight from one foot to another, stand up from a chair, or correct yourself after a small misstep. When these muscles are strong and coordinated, the hips stay aligned, the knees track properly, and the ankles maintain a safer, more stable range of motion. Modern mobility research confirms that people who practice low-depth squats 2 to 3 times per week show significant improvements in step stability, knee comfort, and overall movement confidence within as little as a month. One of the most powerful aspects of mini squats is that they can be performed with complete safety by simply holding onto a countertop, table, or sturdy chair. This external support removes the fear of falling and allows the body to focus on clean, controlled movement. As you lower yourself just a few inches, not even close to a full squat, You begin activating dormant muscle fibers that walking and casual daily activity fail to reach. These fibers are crucial for absorbing impact, supporting the joints, and preventing the inward or outward knee collapse that often leads to instability and pain. By training them regularly, the body starts correcting movement patterns that may have been weakening for years without notice. Another benefit is how mini squats enhance joint lubrication. When you bend slightly at the hips and knees, synovial fluid circulates within the joints, reducing stiffness and improving comfort. This is one reason so many older adults report feeling looser and more fluid after a few days of practicing mini squats. The hips begin to glide more easily. The knees feel warmer and more supported, and stepping feels more confident. This is particularly important for anyone who has been experiencing mild aches or stiffness, as controlled joint movement is one of the safest ways to maintain long-term cartilage health. There's also a neurological component that makes this exercise especially valuable. Mini squats activate proprioceptors, tiny sensors in the muscles and joints that tell your brain where your body is in space. As these sensors become more active, your balance becomes sharper and your ability to respond to uneven surfaces or sudden shifts improves dramatically. Research on older adults shows that introducing controlled squatting patterns enhances neuromuscular response times, reducing the likelihood of hesitation-based falls. This neurological sharpening often begins before major strength improvements appear, which means you may feel steadier even before your muscles noticeably strengthen. If you've ever felt your knees wobble slightly when standing from a low seat, or noticed that your steps feel less grounded than they used to, mini squats are precisely the movement your body is asking for. Even lowering yourself just 2 or 3 inches with proper form builds strength where it matters most. And because these movements are adjustable, you can start at the shallowest depth and increase the range slowly over time as your confidence grows. This gradual progression is what creates lasting change, small controlled movements that accumulate into measurable improvement. The real hook is this: the more you practice mini squats, the more every other movement becomes easier. Stairs feel lighter. Standing feels smoother. Turning, reaching, and walking become more controlled. Mini squats don't just strengthen the legs, they recalibrate the entire lower body system. And the next part of the routine builds directly on this momentum, enhancing gait power and creating a complete foundation for stronger, safer steps every day. Ankle mobility and calf raises form a critical link in restoring gait power, yet they are often overlooked despite being one of the most direct ways to improve the quality, stability, and efficiency of every step. As people age, the ankles lose flexibility and the calves lose strength faster than most other leg muscles. This combination leads to shorter steps, slower walking speed, and a greater risk of catching the toe on uneven ground. Most seniors don't notice the decline until they begin shuffling or feel unstable when stepping off curbs, but the deterioration begins long before those signs appear. Ankle mobility work and calf activation rebuild the mechanism that propels the body with each stride, making walking smoother, safer, and more powerful. The ankles act as shock absorbers and directional guides. When they're stiff, every movement above them becomes compromised. The knees strain to compensate, the hips rotate awkwardly, and balance becomes fragile. Research in geriatric biomechanics shows that limited ankle dorsiflexion, how far the ankle can bend upward, is one of the strongest predictors of fall risk. Without proper mobility, the foot cannot clear the ground efficiently. That's why working on ankle mobility is not just a comfort routine, it's a foundational safety practice. Gentle forward and back ankle movements, seated or standing, help re-lubricate the joint, restore range of motion, and re-establish the smooth glide needed for a confident step. Calf raises build the power behind the step. Every time you push off the ground to move forward, the calves are responsible for generating that force. When they weaken, walking becomes effortful, steps become lighter and less stable, and the body must shift energy from other muscle groups to compensate. That shift often leads to fatigue that people assume is just getting older, when in reality it's a sign that the calves are no longer doing their job. Strengthening them restores the push-off power that keeps walking efficient and reduces wobbling during side-to-side weight transfers. One of the most striking findings from senior mobility studies is that consistent calf strengthening, performed just a few minutes a day, can significantly increase walking speed within 2 weeks. This isn't due to muscle size but to improved neuromuscular efficiency. The body becomes better at engaging the calves at precisely the right moment, propelling each step with smoother coordination. This sharper timing translates into better rhythm and improved confidence when walking in crowded spaces, navigating slopes, or transitioning from carpet to tile. Another major benefit is improved circulation. The calves function as a secondary pump for blood flow, pushing blood back up toward the heart with each contraction. Weak calves reduce this pumping effect, contributing to swelling, heaviness, and lower leg fatigue. But as the calves regain strength, circulation improves, leading to warmer feet, reduced swelling, and greater endurance during everyday activities. Many older adults notice that after just a few days of calf raises, their legs feel livelier and more responsive. For anyone worried about balance, calf raises can be performed with complete safety by holding onto a wall, countertop, or chair. Rising slowly onto the toes, pausing briefly, and lowering under control activates the full length of the calf muscle. This controlled lowering portion is particularly powerful. It trains the muscle to support the ankle during deceleration, which is essential for navigating slopes or stepping down from small heights. Pairing calf raises with gentle ankle circles or forward bends creates a synergy between mobility and strength that walking alone cannot achieve. If you've ever felt unsteady when stepping backward, hesitated before stepping off a curb, or noticed your feet scuffing the ground during a walk, these are clear signals that ankle mobility and calf power need rebuilding. Strengthening this area does more than improve the feel of your steps. It sharpens your body's ability to react to unexpected changes in terrain. This quick react capacity is one of the greatest protectors against falls. Here's the hook that often surprises people. Improving ankle mobility and calf strength before walking dramatically increases the benefit of the walk itself. When the ankles move freely and the calves are primed, each step becomes fuller, more stable, and more efficient. This means you get more out of the same walk with less effort and far greater safety. And as these improvements accumulate, the entire lower body system becomes more coordinated, setting the stage for stronger, faster, and more confident movement every single day. Like this should not simply summarize, it should create a sense of urgency, confidence, and clarity about what comes next. It needs to remind the audience that improving mobility and strength after 75 is not about chasing perfection, but about reclaiming control, protecting independence, and building a future where movement feels secure rather than uncertain. The essential message is that every small step taken now multiplies in value over time. What begins as a simple leg lift, sit, stand drill, mini squat, or calf raise becomes the foundation of a stronger, steadier, more capable body. These are not exercises designed for athletes. They are specifically crafted for seniors who want to stay active and safe without overwhelming themselves. The most powerful part of this entire approach is that it works with the body, not against it, using natural patterns of movement to rebuild strength where it matters most. The real closing point is this: mobility is not something you lose all at once. It fades in fragments, slower steps, more hesitation, grabbing nearby support, stiff joints, shaky balance. These are early warnings, not inevitabilities, and the even more important truth is that mobility can be rebuilt in fragments as well. Each controlled movement strengthens one piece of the system until all the pieces come together again. That's why consistency beats intensity. Small daily actions beat occasional effort, and targeted exercises beat random activity. Walking has tremendous benefits, but after 75, it is not enough by itself. The lower body requires direct stimulation to stay responsive. Ignoring this leads to the slow decline so many seniors accept as just aging, when in reality it is preventable. Another vital message is that strength is not just about muscles. It's about the nervous system. With age, the connection between the brain and the lower body becomes less efficient, slowing reaction times and weakening coordination. The movements taught in the routine restore this connection, sharpening the body's ability to respond quickly to sudden changes. This neural improvement often appears before major physical strength gains, which is why many people feel more stable within days, even if their muscles are still rebuilding. This blend of physical and neurological training creates long-term resilience, helping seniors stay active without fear. What makes this closing point especially important is that your body is always listening. It responds to what you repeatedly do. If you sit most of the day, it adapts by weakening the systems you don't use. But if you move with intention, even just a few minutes at a time, it adapts by strengthening those same systems. That adaptability does not disappear with age. It simply needs targeted, consistent encouragement. Your muscles, joints, balance systems, and circulation are capable of far more improvement than most people realize, even well into their 80s and 90s. The success stories in senior health research are not from extreme workouts. They are from steady, structured movements practiced regularly. Here's the hook that matters most. The earlier you begin, the faster you gain stability, and the longer you maintain independence. But even if you feel behind, it is never too late to start. The body responds at any age. What feels challenging now will feel manageable in 2 weeks, easier in 4 weeks, and natural in 8. And every single improvement, no matter how small, reduces the chances of a fall, restores confidence in daily movement, and brings back the freedom to walk, lift, rise, and move without fear. The final message is simple: you are not powerless against aging. You are not stuck with weak legs, stiff joints, or fading balance. You have tools, and you now understand how to use them. Your future mobility begins the moment you decide to take control of it. Start with today's movements. Stay consistent, honor the progress, and recognize that every repetition is an investment in strength, stability, and independence that you absolutely can maintain for years to come. The most important takeaway is that maintaining mobility after 75 is not about performing complex routines or pushing the body beyond its limits. It's about understanding how movement shapes longevity. Every deliberate action, whether it's lifting a leg, rising from a chair, bending a few inches, or elevating onto the toes, signals the body to stay alive, responsive, and prepared. These signals accumulate. They reshape posture, stabilize joints, strengthen weak links, and rebuild the sense of control that aging often tries to erase. Strength is not merely a physical trait. It's a message your body sends back to you, saying, "I'm still capable. I'm still adaptable. I'm still ready to support you." It's also essential to recognize that mobility is deeply connected to confidence. When someone feels unstable, they move less. When they move less, they weaken faster. Breaking this cycle is one of the greatest achievements of the routine you've learned. As your legs regain power and your steps become steadier, confidence naturally rises. This confidence encourages more activity, creating a positive loop that reinforces long-term independence. That's why starting small is enough. Each movement creates momentum, and that momentum becomes a lifestyle. What often surprises people is how quickly the mind responds to physical improvement. Better balance reduces anxiety. Stronger legs reduce hesitation. More stable steps reduce fear of falling. This mental clarity enhances the body's performance even further. Research shows that seniors with restored mobility tend to socialize more, participate more, and enjoy a higher quality of life because movement brings back a sense of ownership over each day. What you've learned is not a temporary fix. It is a long-term strategy for preserving freedom of movement. Adopting these movements is an investment in the years ahead, years that can be lived with strength, stability, and dignity. The power to shape that future begins with the choices made today, one controlled step at a time.